Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to tonight's show. It is April. Finally, it's April 6th, 2020. April seems to be already flying by. We're on the 6th. What the hell? But anyway, guys, y'all want to say hi?
What's going on, good people? You already know it's your boy Clint up in here tonight. Let's have a great show.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Oh, he came up with the official "What up, though," super loud.
To make sure they hear me loud and clear.
Y'all gonna hear me this week.
Exactly.
You know what I was loving is during the live when Clint kept saying "What up, though" to everybody. I was like, my nigga.
So that live show, it was fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. We went for like 3 hours too. It was dope.
Yeah. We need to do that way more often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We could do another Ronin show.
Oh, for sure. All right. I'm with it. We ain't doing nothing else.
Yeah, I know. We ain't got no more time on our hands.
Ain't got no lives. We can't go nowhere, so.
Right.
Yeah, we got a great show lined up for y'all tonight. If you're listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFT radio show. And if you listen to the playback, you're on SoundCloud, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, where else? iHeartRadio, YouTube, just a bunch of places. Just Google us and find us where we're at. And it's funny, so I just did a TikTok video, and I had on the Protect Our Boys Just Like We Protect Our Girls shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
People liked it, so I was telling them where to buy it from. I know one person did buy it. So shout out to Promotion and Support Podcast, yes. So I'm going to be mindful. Start wearing our shirts. I didn't wear it on the live, but I did wear it for my TikTok.
Perfect. Promote.
Right? Go to
plug./GFT
radio and copy some merchandise. We got cups, we got tote bags, we got kids hoodies and shirts, we got long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, and hoodies and sweatshirts. So go there and grab some merch. Look and see what else they're gonna let us create on there. But so far as that right there, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of different. It's between logos and sayings that we see on the podcast. So you can always go there and grab a shirt.
No
Yep.
doubt.
And while it's still a little nippy outside, you can also grab a hoodie because that's what I've been wearing lately.
Oh yeah, it's good to stay layered up for sure.
Yeah, because it's like when the morning is freaking brisk cold, and then by the afternoon the sun is shining. You just never know. But
you can wear a hoodie on top of your shirt, so that way in the morning you got your warmth, and then you just pull the hoodie off in the afternoon, and you good.
Exactly. And the way that you're going to work, I don't got to get dressed up, so that's actually even better.
All right, so. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe they got y'all coming in, though. That's crazy.
No, but because of I work for a state agency, and we're like one of the main state agencies. Like we make sure people get unemployment and TDI. So
y'all can do that from home.
They're supposed. So our system is so old that they haven't set up for that. So what's going to end up happening is our system may crash only because it's not set up for that many people to be on mobile. So they need to update it because they haven't really had to have nothing like this ever happened that they had to have everybody mobile or so many people.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
we went through that. Yeah.
Well, TDI and unemployment are like the highest ones, so they have a lot of people there. Imagine all of them being at home on the network at the same time. It's not like our work building where they set it up for that. It's remotely, so it's a lot different. So they have to up their game, especially after all this happened. And on top of that, you got our HR. Like I'm HR, so we have to have we got to make sure people getting paid properly. So it's a lot. So they have to. I think this situation is going to make them realize that they have to figure out a better system in case something like this happens again. God forbid, but
Right.
The system is capable of handling that many people using that type of system. So we go in, but it's like it's scheduled. So like I go in twice a week. For two, the first week I go in for 2 days, and then I'm out the rest of the week. The second week I go in for 2 days, and then I go in at the end because it's payroll closing.
All right,
but how they are. So it's not bad. The plus I won't have to get dressed up. There's no new hire orientation, so I definitely don't have to be talking to nobody. So that's actually good for me because normally I do new hire orientations on Monday. So I don't have to do that right now. So it's actually good.
Okay,
but,
dope. Yeah.
Oh, huh?
I said dope. Yep. Yeah, okay, we can move on.
Shut up. Oh,
no, I'm just saying we don't need your whole schedule, Sonny. I love you.
Oh my God, I hate you. I hate you all with passion. Get on my damn nerves. But anyway, guys, if you want to call into the
what
topic,
Clint wanted to say. That's all. I'm just here to help out. That's all. I'm just here to help out.
Listen. I was trying to type so fast in the group chat to hurry up and get to the damn point, but really beat me to it. You know what I mean?
And I ain't even been drinking yet, so
I was definitely about to press send. I wish I'm gonna screenshot my phone. Word is phone. I was about to press send.
I don't like them. They both fired. I'm canceling both of them. Anywho,
get to the topic.
If you want to call in and join in on the topic, 657-383-1155. Willie, are you on Twitter or are you just being a rat bastard?
No, I'm all over Twitter. I've been in these tweets.
So Willie's in the tweet. So at GFT_radio if y'all want to chime in. Maybe he'll be kind enough to read your tweet online on the live show.
No doubt I will.
So this topic is a great topic. I think I suggested this to you guys about like different things that we do in relationships or stuff like that. How we self-sabotage and how we some of us use defense mechanisms to protect ourselves. We were talking on a past show. I don't think it was this last one, or was it or was it this one? No, it was the one about the zodiac. And we talked about like what and I believe we talked about how some of the things we do are similar, but that's just us either have a defense mechanism set up. I know me and Clint had something that we both like our thing that we did, like we overthink, and so we think 10 steps ahead to kind of protect ourselves from the fuck shit that may happen, and when it happened, we like, oh, okay, we knew the shit was gonna happen. So, kind of wanted to talk about that and kind of see what the difference is between whatever. We know there's a difference, but just explaining or getting in depth about defense mechanisms and self-sabotage and how we are when it comes to dating and trying to date in this not even just in this new year, just period.
Right.
I think basically it comes from just trying to protect our feelings. I think that's how we get it. I don't know where y'all want to start with the conversation. That's what I should ask first.
I think we should let's break it down between self-sabotaging and then defense mechanism. So you want to jump right into defense mechanism, or you want to go to self-sabotage?
Well, what are your defense mechanisms? Describe your defense mechanism since you came up with the topic. What are some of your defense mechanisms? Okay.
Well, some of mine are, like I said, overthinking and trying to get myself to mentally prepare for the quote-unquote other shoe to drop. Even though, like I said on the other show, that doesn't work out for me because even though I'm prepared for it, when it happens, I'm like devastated because I wanted you to prove me wrong, but you didn't.
Right.
You know, in most parts, it's like they don't prove me wrong, they prove me right. So I don't know if that works out for me. But another thing that I do is, or that I have been known to do is pretend like I don't care. I care, but I'm not going to allow you to know that I care. So that's stuff that I do to protect, quote unquote, try to protect myself because I'm not really protecting myself. I'm just like pretending like it don't bother me, but it does. If anything, I'm protecting you from seeing that what you're doing is bothering me. But now, you know, my emotions all over the place, so I really can't help myself now. But
right.
But before I was able to Like I got the people I were dating were telling me to act like I don't care, I don't give a fuck about them. Like I don't need them. I like to the point where they were saying I was very dismissive of them, or like I didn't like if they left, like oh whatever. And now that's happening to me. So it's like I'm like no, don't do that because I used to do that.
Okay.
So it's coming back. Karma. I don't know.
You say karma, right?
Top.
Get what you asked for. No, I'm just fucking with you. But I definitely can dig that. One of mine is having no expectation. I guess this ties in with it being a defense mechanism, but also self-sabotaging at the same time as going in with no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Because they say when you go into the situation with no expectations, you can't be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But it also sets you up to put you in a position where somebody could try to put you in an uncomfortable position. So, you know what I mean? You know, you don't go with expectations, and people think they can talk or act a certain way. And then you have to end up checking them all the time, and you know what I mean. So it leads way to you know what I mean, to issues. But you know what I mean, that's definitely one of my problems. It's because you know what I mean. Like my thing is people disappointing me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean. That's what I don't want to be. I don't want to give people my energy and then they disappoint me. You feel me? Like I guess I'm more protective of being disappointed than hurt. You know what I mean? Because naturally people are selfish. You feel me? So, you know, when you invest in somebody and you invest everything and then they just let you down, that's what hurts the most. So my thing is, if I don't have expectations, if I don't have high expectations for the situation, then I can never be hurt. So anything that's a plus is just a plus because I'm already expecting some negative. I'm already expecting the shoe to drop soon anyway. So
like,
then,
I'm okay
even in my
well, that's the problem.
You said you what?
I said I'm okay. Like in the beginning, if my feelings aren't involved, I really don't give a fuck. And then once my feelings are involved, I give a fuck tremendously.
A lot. Yeah. Next level, right? Yeah.
But what are some of yours, Willie?
So you know, it was I had to kind of think about it, but then it became like real obvious for a few things, and I realized I got a lot of defense mechanisms, just because of the way I am, and then the way I date, and the way I approach relationships. I can be very I guess the word is like reactionary in terms of like, especially when I just first start off dating, because I kind of like Clint was saying about not wanting to get hurt. I'm the type that I'll try to downplay my feelings or do some things that I feel like will hide my feelings in order to make sure that the person, doesn't realize how I feel about them up front. So then that way, I don't get used or abused or, stuff like that. And then, I try to come out of that as I either see them, either doing something in a way that I feel more comfortable with, or feel like their actions are real, or their feelings are true to what they're saying, So I do, kind of like hide behind a wall of saying, okay, you know what, I'm gonna just be, I'm gonna be chill, I'm gonna be cool, I'm gonna act like I don't really care. I think you kind of mentioned that too, Sonny. Just trying to be like, it's whatever, right? Until I realize that, it is what it is. I think I do a little bit of what they call avoidance as well. I do a little bit of me, I had to look all this stuff up because I was like, I want to see what all this is really about and see, So when I started looking at, different types of defense mechanisms, it started to ring true, and But another one that got to me was basically you explain why things go wrong. So you know how like you something happens in a relationship and you may not be directly blaming you kind of justify, right. So instead of like not just blaming yourself or not just blaming that person, you try to put the blame on something else. You try to justify it. You try to make up excuses and things like that, and it becomes a defense mechanism to either protect yourself or protect the relationship because you think that's what's best, right? So I do that sometimes too, and there can be some harm in that, especially if I'm doing that to protect myself and I don't really need to, or if I'm trying to protect the relationship and the relationship doesn't need to be protected, right? So.
Yeah, I think that we all like you said earlier, or one of you guys said earlier, that everybody has their own different defense mechanisms. Some people have very similar ones, and I think we do it because like I'm a big offender of the trying to make it like justifying the behavior. Trying to rationalize it and say, okay, well maybe I shouldn't have been upset because X, Y, Z and blah blah. Knowing good and well in my mind, and like if I take a step back, it really doesn't make any sense, and you can't justify it. But I think we do that because when you're in that point of early dating, you see that good of that person, and you're trying to say, well, this is not the person that I met, and maybe they're just going through something. You're trying to rationalize it, and then you're giving yourself a reason to stay, even though you probably know you shouldn't, or still be a part of it, knowing you shouldn't, because if you say something, it's not like, and you know it. Like, so when you say, okay, so this is bothering me, bring it to this person, and you're like, hey, X, Y, Z, and they say something back that's not what you want to hear, you've now caused a problem. Mind you, everything's been fine because you've been acting like everything's fine, even though it's really not.
Right.
And once you acknowledge that everything's not fine, you can't take that back.
Facts. I want to touch back on something Willie was saying about, he mentioned one of his, and that's definitely one of mine, and that's avoidance. Avoidance is a perfect one for me. And the way I avoid things is I just avoid certain conversations.
Yeah, me too.
You feel me? So, you know what I mean? If we don't have that conversation, I don't have to go there. We don't ever have to go there. We don't have to think about it. You feel me? Oh, well, what are you, like if you're trying to get, if I see somebody trying to get too intimate or too deep, I'm like, nah, I shut it down too quick. You know what I mean? I shut it down quick. Like, nah, let's not even have that conversation because I know where that conversation can lead. And you feel me? I don't want to. I don't know if I'm ready to walk down that path. So I'd rather just not have that conversation or not deal with that issue. You know what I mean? Avoidance is definitely one of my biggest defense mechanisms. You know what I mean? But it's also you wish to have it.
I wish that I could be. I wish that could be me. I can't avoid shit. Like I just like, hey, like I think it's not even a problem because it's just like I know the shit, and I just like I be knowing the shit, and I just be like, you know what? Like I'm just sitting there like, and you know what? Blah 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 blah. Like I can't. I have to because if it's
everything
like
got to be out of the table. Yeah.
yeah. My thing is I'm like being an overthinker. I overthink things. So like I'll have a conversation with a friend about it because I want to make sure that I have rational thinking. You know how you just going through something, you like, before I act rational, like, yo, tell me if I'm tripping or is this some crazy shit. So let's just have a conversation. If they give me the green light, so to speak, that's not the word I want to use, but they basically agree with what I'm saying. And like, cause I'm one of the people make sure I'm not going extreme because I'm an extreme thinker. So okay, so that I'm a bust a scenario out to you. What do you think? And if you match the same thing where I'm at with it, no, I'm gonna say something because bitch, I'm not about to like I gotta say something. And I know, and I'm one of the people. Even though I know I'm about to say something or I know it's gonna go left, I just have to get it off my chest because I know I'm not crazy.
Right.
Like, yo, 'cause I did this shit to you. Like, and that's where I'm at with it. So if it's something that I really got to say to you, express to you, I'm expressing it to you because either one, I would never put you in that situation or make you feel however I'm feeling, and I want you to know that because for one, I need to fix it. And I'm like that with friends. Sometimes I do avoid with friends and family.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because I'm like that because I think the type of relationship it is whether or not you're going to get certain things out of me. With my friends and family, I avoid a lot because I come off as the aggressor to them. So I can take a lot of shit off of them, and then once I say something, I'm the aggressor. Or, oh, why you, and it's like, why you mad? And it's like, listen, for me to say something to y'all took me there. And now that I'm saying something, now I'm the bad guy. So for them, I like to avoid it because I'm always seen as the person that's going to snap, the person that's going to go off, or she's going to cuss you out. It's like, not because other people are too, but I just don't hold back with them. I'll say what I need to say and be done with it. But for y'all, I avoid it because I know how y'all going to feel. How I'm going to say it is not going to be roses and peaches and cream. Mm-hmm. And at this point, by the time I say something to you, I've held it in for so long that I'm probably going to not say it in the nicest way. And I'm going to snap. Because I already know what you're going to say. I'm acting crazy.
I want to correct something, too. Not to cut you off. I want to correct something. I want to go back and correct something. The defense mechanism isn't always to protect me or protect anybody from getting hurt. That ain't always why we got to have our defenses up or walls up, so to speak. Yeah. Sometimes, because when we're sitting here and the more I'm thinking about it, the more we getting in depth with it. You know, sometimes I have my defensive mechanisms up because I have a particular mission or a particular goal in mind that I'm trying to accomplish.
Right.
You feel me? And I know the only way I can accomplish that if I have to focus fully on that goal, on that mission, and I can't be sidetracked. Because I know any man know a beautiful woman, a nice woman that you really, really vibe with will sidetrack you. Will sidetrack you. The wrong woman will sidetrack you. You feel me? And when I sit and
the right woman will sidetrack you too.
yeah, the right woman will sidetrack you too because you could. You know what I mean? Because you can get comfortable. That's what that's the main thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not that they even do anything detrimental to you. Mm-hmm. You feel me? But you know, a good woman, you get comfortable. You start, all right. Well, I get that. I want to spend time with Shorty. I get that. I tighten that up later, or I do this then. You feel me? But I know me. So sometimes I had them walls up to like, nah, I'm not even trying to be. I need no distractions right now. You feel me? You feel me? Your time is limited. So I try to. That's why I throw them walls. It ain't always to protect me from getting hurt. No, man, I had to. I just wanted to correct that.
Focus on where you at.
Well, yeah, and I was going to add in one that I have that I know I use. You know, it's kind of a protection for myself, but then I also feel like it's a way of being able to focus on the next thing, or focus on, like you said, Clint, focus on the mission, because I may have a different mission in hand and I can't be thinking about this other situation or these other things. And that's disassociation. Like, I do that a lot. Like, I was just having that conversation with my sister about a family issue we're going through, and you know, she's like, you know, you sure you're okay? Another friend of mine was asking the same question, like, oh, are you okay about this? You know, everything good? It's like, yeah, no, I'm good. It's like I disassociate and then I move on, because I'm like, at this point, I no longer have control over what's happening over here, but I can separate myself from it and be like, you know what, I'll leave that over there, and now I'm going to move forward with what I got going on over here. And you know, especially in a situation when I'm like, all right, I got to focus on getting X, Y, Z done. Z is a total distraction. X needs all my attention, and Y is just, you know, just out there doing its own thing. So it's like I got to disassociate myself from Y and Z so that I can focus on X and get X taken care of. And that's what I do. You know, I'm really good at disassociation, and I think it's helpful in a way because, like I said, it gets me the focus I need on what I need to do. And then in certain situations, it keeps the stress off of me from things I can't do or things I can't control. You know, if Y out there doing what it want to do, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just disassociate myself and let it let it do what it's got to do, and I'll come back to it later when I can either control it or I can guide the situation. But other than that, I'm not about to sit there and stress about it though either. So that's the benefit or the benefit for myself. But I think that it's one of those walls or one of those defense mechanisms that get used quite often when we don't even think about it, like why what we're doing or why we're doing it.
Yeah, I'm looking up.
So how? You looking at what?
No, he had me look. I'm looking up the 12 things of defense mechanisms. It's just different ones. And where did it go? God damn it. One said
with the 20.
Well, no, I have a list of 12.
Oh, okay.
And one is saying introjection, which is conformed feelings for approval. So basically, you're conforming feelings for the approval of them. Like you may feel away, but you're not you're going to pretend like you. Just kind of like what's that? I'm just looking up the different ones. Rationalization is up there too.
I don't know that one.
No, if I'm understanding you correctly, Sonny, you're saying you're basically doing things for like to like impress the other person or to make them like
so it
more.
Says, well, no, it's saying introjection. It says conform feelings for approval. So I'm assuming it's somebody that basically feels away but won't say they feel away. So they'll just pretend to feel the same way the other person does, just for an approval.
Basically going along to get along.
Is that the reaction? It's like the reaction thing.
Yeah, going along to get along.
Yeah, exactly. Go along to get along. Yeah. That's the reaction thing I was talking about earlier. Sometimes it's something that people do, to try to, you're just trying to like act like, but that's an extreme form of it, right? When you're like, you go to the point of, like an example that I saw on the one side I looked at that was talking about it was like you don't like a person at all, not even in a dating situation. You're talking about an enemy or a frenemy where it's like you don't even really like them, but you'll put on a happy face. You'll be real cordial with the person just so y'all can get along. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do that at work a lot.
And people, basically that's what it is. That's basically, but people do that in relationships. You feel me? People do that with people they're talking to and stuff like that. But like, I can't. That's misery.
Yeah.
It's one thing to do it like at work, because really,
at
work, like I ain't attached to you, so I'll never say nothing to you.
Hold on. Let Clint say it again because I couldn't hear him.
No, I was saying like that's misery.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like it's one thing to do that at work, but it's another thing to do that in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Because at work there's no attachment. I'm not attached to you. You feel me? We here just to get this bread, and then I go home about my business. You feel me? But when I go home about my business, I don't want to go home about my business with somebody who I got to fake the funk with.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You feel me? Mm-hmm. Know what I mean? Like that got to be a miserable way to live.
That is miserable. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was you saying, Sonny? Yeah. What were you saying, Sonny?
Oh, no, I'm just saying that's too much. I'm very vocal, but I definitely do that at work. I definitely do that. Like, it's a lot of people I don't like at work, but like my former boss, everybody knew I didn't like her. Could we have a conversation? Absolutely. She was my boss. I wasn't going to be an asshole. She knew I didn't like her. Everybody knew I didn't like her. But I had to talk to her, so, you got to be, you're like, all right. Like, don't ask me to go over and beyond because I'm not. Like, when she left the job, they wanted me to do a speech. I looked at them like, no, like, y'all know how I feel. I'm not about to do none of that shit. I was cordial. Like, skedaddle, I'm out. She good.
All right, no doubt.
Like,
yeah.
Because my boss, I got to be, can't be out there acting up. Oh, another one is humor. A lot of people use that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's that capacity to not take oneself too serious, as in accepting one's shortcomings and talking about it in a socially acceptable way. A lot of people do that.
Yeah, I do that.
They
Yeah,
consider that. Yeah, they consider that a defense mechanism.
Yeah,
well,
because almost like I watch Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition, and one of the guys is Stu. He dating Michelle A. And I know y'all won't watch these shows, or maybe y'all do. I don't know, because the way you sitting around, y'all might be like,
no clue.
No,
but basically, he had a hard life. He had a really horrible life. He watched people get killed, like had this crazy, crappy. Like when he told my his life, we was like, everybody was looking at him like, what? Because he's always happy. He's always smiling for no good. Like he's smiling when he's mad. He's smiling. Like that's his defense mechanism, because he's actually hurting, but he'll use every time it's inappropriate to laugh, he laughs, because that's his defense mechanism. Rather than see him hurt, he'll smile and laugh.
Well, even greater than that, like I do that, but it's more of like I do self-deprecating humor, or I'll try to make somebody laugh just to try to keep them from being mad at me. You know what I mean? Like I'll try to say something funny, point out something funny, come up with a interesting story or something. I mean, I'm terrible at telling stories, but I'll try my best to like try to deflect the feelings at that moment to try to either protect myself or, like I said, protect the relationship. So it's more than like what he's doing. That's more of he has an inability to be mad. He has an inability to act out. He has an inability to express himself. But using humor as a defense mechanism is more like you try your best to downplay situations, but with trying to make the person think it's either you sound like everything is a joke or everything is funny, or you find funny things in the situation to try to deflect from the bad things that are happening in the situation. So you point those funny pieces out, and so that you can deflect from what's really the problem. You know what I mean? And it gets easy to do when you're good at it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not great at it, but I'm good at it. My son is extremely good at being a jokester, so I could see him using that to his defense, to try to get out of situations. You know what I mean? Chris Rock was great at explaining that too. He talked about, I think it was Chris Rock. It was either him I think it was Chris Rock. He talked about this a lot in his stand-up, was how he would use jokes in order to get out of fights. So it's like you try your best to like downplay a situation or get yourself out of a situation by, telling a joke, coming up with a funny story, pointing out funny things about the situation.
I do you one even better, Willie. This is what I do, and I do for the most part. I tell people more about my losses or my embarrassments, or that I tell them about my wins. Because, you know what I mean, it'll bring their defenses down.
Exactly.
It ain't just the self that, you know what I mean, it's the light and the mood. So I'll tell you a loss before I tell you a win. You feel me? So, because I don't want you to, because I could come off cocky, but I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So what I do is I always tell you a loss, because, I want people to feel comfortable. And then there's also, sometimes you don't want to, what they say is like one of the 48 laws of power. Like you don't want to always make somebody feel less than all the time when you talk. You don't want them to always hear you feeling like a bragger or a boastfulness. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? Sometimes I just go to an extreme, and I'll just be like, I just tell people about my losses. You feel me? Because I know that'll loosen them up in certain ways. Now, sometimes it may bite me, but I feel like, tell them about your losses, a funny story where it's embarrassing to me, and you know what I mean. Sometimes you can use that in your favor.
Right. Do we have somebody on the line, Sonny?
Yes, we do. Hold on. Hello, you're on the phone On live with, I'm sorry, my brain just left.
You're on live with TFT Radio.
Wow.
How you doing? This is Dog.
Hey.
What's up, big dog?
How you doing?
Say, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic.
Oh, it's the brother
I've been
for the
listening
live.
to y'all, and I think I've been listening, and to me, I think self-sabotaging is coming from the inner self because they're not happy with themselves, so they don't feel like they can make anyone else happy, so they do whatever they think they have to do to satisfy that other person's need.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's just my thought.
I'm definitely seeing that. Mm-hmm.
I believe that if you can't make yourself happy and you're steady trying to make other people happy, you will never accomplish your mission because you're not happy within yourself. So you do little things to sabotage your relationship.
I'm firm. I believe people do that because I feel like some people don't feel like they deserve to be loved. They got used to whatever it is that they were used to or have been through so much that they don't think that they are worthy to feel the way that person in particular is making them feel. So they do stuff that, drive that person away because they don't think that they're worthy to be happy.
I think they just don't know how to love, or they was never shown it, or it was something that was missing in their childhood. And when they grew up, they just never learned how to, and they give it a shot because they really want to, but it just don't come out the way they want it to, It's
Right.
like they just really don't know.
Yeah, I think I know I've been there at one point in my life.
I think some people, like you said, when they don't really know how to love, or or not really know how to love, but even they don't really know how to accept love. They also, it's like it's a self-deprecation thing too, where they're feeling like, either depressed about how the love is coming. They may think that they don't deserve it because they're at a certain level. They may feel like it's a way of them protecting the other person if they try to convince the other person not to be with them. So I think it's always some type of deficiency, just in their self-esteem, basically.
As I stated last week, I said I'm a provider and a protector. With that being said, I was always taught to do all of those things: provide, protect, take care of. And I never learned how to accept that, like somebody take care of me when I'm down, or somebody to help me when I need it. All of that plays a major role in it. I never knew how to accept help. And for anyone that knows me, they know I'm always protecting anything and everything, kids, women, family. But it's hard to accept that when that's all you know how to do is give it. I know that don't kind of make sense, but
that makes sense.
For me, that's
makes perfect sense because it feels like it's a sign of weakness. You know what I mean? I'm the same way. Feel me? Like it's hard to ask for help when you're the one that's always helping. Feel me?
Exactly.
And then sometimes even when you ask for it, it's like you don't know how to receive it. You feel me? Because them two completely separate things. You feel me?
It's hard to even say thank you.
Yeah, it's hard because you don't know how to receive it. Like, because you really trying to first get over the fact that you gotta ask, and then once you ask and they give it to you, you like, all right, now what?
Sometimes you don't have to ask.
That's the same thing in relationships.
Yep.
I remember a situation with me. I had a stroke about 1.5 years ago, taking care of my mother. I'm up here. My whole right side, I couldn't do anything, but I was steady trying to provide for my mother, cook, clean, all of that. And I needed help, but I wouldn't ask. I got it done. But I refused to ask anybody because I felt like people should know, hey, they see you. Like in a relationship, if they see you needing something, you shouldn't have to ask.
Watch me struggle?
I'm sorry?
I said, yeah, it's basically like you're going to watch me struggle.
Oh, they did. They still do. But, you know, that determination, like I keep going back to relationships, when you see something, you know it's out of your reach, but you're still trying to make it work. Mm-hmm. You won't ask for help. You won't ask them, hey, we need to meet this. You as a person, going to be like, well, I know I can make this work. I'm going to keep trying it. They're going to see it eventually. Right. I'm not going to ask. Maybe if I show them, you know, it'll come to happen.
Yeah, and that's the one thing we have to stop doing is assuming that people see our struggle or that people understand our struggle, because I think a lot of times we make that assumption, and they have a term for it. It's I think it's called an internal audience, where you feel like everybody can see the world you're living in, and they can see when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're accomplishing something, when you're getting things done, when you're not getting things done, and you feel like that they should be able to act accordingly. And unfortunately, that's not actually how the world works. Everybody's actually self-centered. So everybody's centered on themselves, thinking, acting, and moving with their own needs in mind. So if you are outside of that realm for their needs, you have to bring attention to yourself in order to catch their attention. Now, for a good amount of people, they'll jump out of that self-centeredness and help you and do something for you, or, you know, help bring you what you need. But you have to get their attention first. And I think a lot of people don't realize even that that's what they're doing when they do have a cry for help. They do something out of the ordinary. You know, they may act out. They may drop the ball, you know, whatever the case may be. Then it kind of draws people's attention, and they're thinking like, well, what took y'all so long to get here? It's like, well, you never asked. You never said anything, and we never
right.
did. So a lot of times people got to realize is that you're thinking that somebody sees you, or you're thinking that somebody knows you're struggling is really all inside your head. It's really all you, because you're technically centered on yourself, for one, but then you also have this internal audience that makes you feel like everybody's watching, you know. Mm-hmm. And the downside to that, too, is people who feel like that people are constantly judging them, you know what I mean? So you have people who are doing things, trying to fly under the radar, thinking people are either judging them, think badly about them, or feel that they're not, you know, doing what's necessary. But it's really not anybody really doing that to them. They're doing that to themselves. They're bringing all that attention internally to themselves. And nobody else is noticing.
And the person that usually helps you, I would say 65% of the time, is never the one you're looking
for.
Never
the help
the person
from.
you look
exactly.
at. The help or the notice. You know, it's always somebody on the outside that draws
that you draw that attention.
Their attention.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep, that's true. It's
always the person you least suspect, I tell you that.
Y'all make me feel so smart tonight.
So I have a question.
It's human nature, though. You know, it's definitely human nature, man. You know, it's like a lot of people, you know, they don't see things happening to the people that they love because it for them is incremental. They only see people from the outside are seeing things because it's more of a grand statement. So, like, think about it like this: for anybody that has a friend that they haven't seen in years, or if you have a godchild, or if you have a grandchild and you haven't seen them in months, and think about how that person looks so different all of a sudden, right? They've grown 2 inches, or they have hair where they didn't have hair, or you know, you see them 20 years later, they got a beard and a top hat, and you're like, I've never seen you in a beard and a top hat. This is crazy. But all their family and friends haven't noticed that. The people that are around them constantly, that inside, you know, that you were just talking about, Chris, is that those people are not the ones that notice because they're always around. They see those incremental changes, but they're not paying attention to them because they're incremental. They're small, they're tiny, they're minor.
I disagree. I really believe that they do notice. I really believe they do notice. They just won't tell you. A lot of people notice and will not say anything. They won't try to help you. They'll sit there and watch you just to see if you can recover or regain your stance to be where you were. I think
that depends on the situation. I mean, I've seen that. I mean, but that becomes more of a situation where people are acting against you and outside of your best interest. That's when you see that, or you see people who are looking to see if that you feel like you're up here and that you can do this. Or I'm making gestures, y'all can't see me, but that you're up on top, right, and that you're doing things that are above and beyond, right? And then they see you take a tumble, and then they let you tumble, and then they want to see if you can get back up, and they won't help you. They won't say anything. You do have that. Yeah, you're right. That does happen. Situations like that can occur, and unfortunately, it's usually close friends, close family will do that because they're the ones that will either punish you, quote unquote, punish you by that, because maybe there was some kind of conflict or maybe there's some kind of disagreement. You know, you get that a lot when people disagree on how things are going, and if you're the one making the decision, then they'll be like, "Oh, well, you the one made this decision, you live with it."
And I know it seemed like I changed the subject a little bit, but I really haven't, because all of that applies to relationships and self-sabotaging, because people start becoming withdrawn from relationships. Me, myself, I know I've done it. I'm the type where if I feel, instead of me asking you how you feel, how your day going, or if we good right now, like we should in relationships, if I feel or I think I see you backing off, I'm going to back off.
You know what I learned? Because I experienced that too. At the same time, like the situation to where, you feel me, you feel like, people watching, I felt that. But how I dealt with it is I just looked in the mirror and I was like, that's just my insecurity. What makes me think they got the capacity to help me get back to where I was? Maybe they just can't help me. Maybe they're not fit to help me and they don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Maybe they do enjoy watching me suffer or watching me trying to struggle to get back, but it's cool. They didn't help me get to where I was at before, so why do I expect them to try to, when I come back down, to help me get back? Maybe they couldn't. Maybe they just can't. You feel me? Maybe that's just me. That's just me and my weakness trying to use them as a crutch to validate how I feel.
But everybody needs somebody to lean on.
True. True. But when you carrying so much, they can't bear. You can't expect people who are not strong enough to bear their weight that you can.
Yeah. Because I know when I
sometimes heavy is the head that wears the crown, but you wear the crown for a reason. They can't wear it. They can't carry it. So when that crown fall off your head, they looking at you to pick it back up. They can't, because they never carried it in the first place.
But see,
so they want to see what you can do. You feel me? They want, you the king, right?
But say
right?
if you was wearing that crown, and I see you falling, I'm not gonna stand back and watch you fall. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get behind you and hold you up.
But you can't expect everybody to be you.
Because I know what I'm saying.
You can't expect everybody to be you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe that's my downfall.
Everybody knows what to do, because when you're used to being that person that's there for everybody else, and then you go through what you go through, they don't know how to deal with it because they're so used to you being quote unquote strong person. They don't know how to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So like
and that also reveals their weakness to them. That reveals their weakness to them. Then they got to look in the mirror. And they got to be honest with themselves.
Enjoy my strong moment for a minute. Y'all had to take me down. I'm so hurt. I'm just joking.
My bad, bro. But because I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly how you feel.
But you absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right. I can't expect for people to do and think the way I do or handle things the way I do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I said, I think that's my biggest downfall.
Yeah. In situations like that, that's why they say it's always good. It's always good to have mentors. You feel me? Friends are dope. You know what I mean? We all need friends to help us cope. But you know what I mean? Sometimes friends can't help us grow. To where we need, you know what I mean? So we need a mentor. So when we do fall off, you know what I mean, we can have somebody lean on. And it's like sometimes it fall in your hands. You know what I mean? Like, because I got sick. You feel me? And I couldn't expect my friends to understand because they're not going through it. So they don't understand how I feel. So now it's a communication barrier. So I couldn't talk to them. So I had to find somebody I can talk to. And just so happened other friend was dealing with the same exact thing. And they were dealing with it for a little longer, even though my pop had dealt with it. So, but I had somebody now I can lean on and go talk to to help me cope, or how I get back in some sort of, normalcy. Or how do I even improve? You feel me? Sometimes you just gotta realize you can't go to your friends or your loved ones for that. You gotta go reach out. We talked about that in the previous show. Sometimes you gotta go reach out.
I wish we could just go back to watching how, at least I could use, my parents been together for almost 60 years. Okay? And watching, and they done had, but trust me, the ups and downs. But to this day, my mom is in the nursing home. My dad, before they shut it down, he would go up there every day and sit 3-4 hours. They wouldn't even be talking. I'd go up there sometimes, and they both be sleeping in the chair right next to each other. You know, my mom's got Alzheimer's, and she don't know what's going on in the world now. She don't even remember, that my brother got killed.
Right.
She remembered none. She thinks her mother is still alive, and she been gone.
Oh man,
over
years,
60 years.
Right.
But just watching them, it's little simple things. Hey, I'm gonna go take your mama a candy bar. I'm gonna take her a hamburger. If we can get back to watching how the older folks survived together through all of that stuff they went through, man, we'd be all right.
Well, it's too easy to not stay together nowadays. That's the thing. It's too easy to a lot of people don't even get married nowadays. They want to easy out, and then when even if they do, it's still, it's easy to get a divorce. I was telling somebody about that, like, once you go through a divorce the first time, it's one of the hardest things you do. It's one of the hardest things you do. I mean, if you really love that other person and you really had a great relationship before whatever went wrong. But once you've done it, it becomes, unfortunately, it becomes easy to see it as an option. It becomes easy to see it as an out. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, with people who don't even want to be married, it's because they want that easy out. To be able to be like, you know what, if I'm done, I'm done. I walk away, no questions asked. So it's just too easy.
You're right, because my second divorce was easy. I mean, it was extremely easy. I didn't even want nothing. I just left everything. Took my car and some clothes. I didn't even take a TV. I just took a radio. And I went. I started over. I started over twice.
Hold on. And not even thinking about the materialistic aspect of it. What about the emotional aspect of it? What did you find that it was much easier to kind of separate yourself from that relationship and move on?
Well, you know what? I would say my first one was harder, but it wasn't hard because by the time I did decide to leave, it was no feelings there. I mean, we had begun to sleep in separate rooms. I would stay gone for the whole weekend, come back in. She complained, you were gone all weekend. Okay, and what?
All right, but no, I'm saying the overall process, from getting to that point all the way until you actually walked out the door. That I'm sure that process was a lot longer, a lot harder to deal with from the start to end versus the second marriage when you're like, you know what, I'm done with this, I can just move on.
You know, I can't really say that because I'm not really an emotional person. Because once I try and try, and I feel like you're not trying back, I could care less. I'll cut ties. Let's go. Leave me alone. Hey, you want me to help you pack?
Now, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Did those feelings result from the failure of the first marriage, or did you have that same mindset?
Marriage.
Oh, that was the first marriage.
That was the first marriage.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I did. I tried while I was in the marriage, while we were in the same house. You know, I didn't leave her. I paid off all the bills, made sure she was straight. I left her with a new vehicle, and I started over. We actually became better friends after we divorced.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I raised her son as my own. Hell, he even lived with me. I took care of him. But so, you know, it was better that I left. I guess I'm learning to find out as I get older, I'm not the type of guy that, I hate to say this, that really wants to be in a long-term relationship. Because I get bored easy.
That's different.
I can't find anyone to keep my
keep
attention. And that's kind of sad, but, you know, I don't want to waste her time, and I tell her up front, look, I'm not looking for a relationship.
Were you always like that? Were you always like that?
I used to always want to be married. I did that, had the house, the dog, the fence, the yard, all of that stuff. Took trips, but I felt like it was overrated because I felt like I was giving more than I was receiving. Not that I was really looking for anything, but when I stepped back, I was like, well, damn, I'm busting my ass and trying to keep this shit together, and she just standing there with her hands out. That ain't gonna happen. It's time for me to go. I could do High Tyler Perry, that movie. I could do bad by myself.
Yeah, it's like you was in kind of a different situation there. You know, because some relationships do be like that, where it's like you're the one kind of doing everything it is to keep that relationship going, or you feel like you're not getting what you need out of it. I mean, I guess it depends on how you're approaching a relationship too. You know, it's always a challenge when the other person doesn't understand your needs or your wants or your desires for that relationship, or they just don't care, whatever the case may be.
I had that desire, but I'm the type of person that, and there's probably a lot of people out here like this, but while I'm in the marriage, I'm going to do everything I can to salvage it. But when it's time to go, when I say I'm ready to go, then that means I done tried everything I could. So we're not going to separate and work on it and try and get back together. No.
I guess the reason why I asked those questions is because I was thinking about myself and like the progression of from when I was younger to now on how I approach relationships or potential relationships, and how I deal, or how each previous relationship affected the next. And did it improve it? Did it hurt me? Did my mindset? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you said, you divorced. So, and whether you've been through a divorce too, did it immediately affect how you dealt with the next person you dealt with in a positive or negative way?
Well, I think for me, it's been positive in the fact that, you know, I feel like Like I always got this idea that I think I'm going to be a better second husband than I was the first time around. That I'm going to be, but I'm also going to be better to myself than I was the first time around too. Because I learned
not to cut you off real quick.
Yeah.
In comparison to when you was before you got married too. I guess that's my point.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to on the better for myself part. Yeah, because I think going into my last marriage before we got married, like going into the dating situation, there was a lot of things that I didn't understand about myself or about the happiness I wanted, as well as there were certain things that I think I compromised on that either I felt like caused her to cause issues for her or cause issues for me. There were certain things that I feel like it became a problem because early on we didn't really we had a lot of avoidance going on, basically, where we were avoiding our own personal issues and trying to fix it by getting married to each other. So I think going into this next relationship, or even before I got to my next relationship, I've gone through a lot of what they call it. I've gone through a lot of things in my life between the two relationships to say, okay, I need to learn how to, love myself more. I need to know what things I want and I don't want. I always thought I knew what made me happy, but I had to learn what made me happy. I always thought that I, was adamant about and authoritative about the things that I want and don't want. But I had to learn to be more confident to say, hey, I'm not going to accept this in my next relationship, or I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to, not get what I want from in this area. But also being able to recognize that the other person is either making compromises or is giving up something to be with me, and then I know that later on that's not going to be in their best interest, so that's going to probably cause problems for us in the future. Being able to point those out and say, hey, look, this is going to be a problem. If you give this up, something you really want, how is this going to affect our relationship? Because that's a lot of times what happens is people come back later. It's not a change of heart, a change of mind, or a growth. It's they didn't state their purpose at the beginning. They didn't come into the relationship and say, this is what I want, and be adamant about that. They were too afraid. They avoided that, or they tried to, I'm going to put on this happy face and say, you know what, it's cool. I don't need this. I'm good. It's like, no, if you need this and to be happy in your life, go get it. You don't need me. Go get that. Because if I bring you over here and then you look at me and go, well, this is your fault that I'm in this situation now. I didn't get what I wanted because you just had to marry me. And it's like, wait a minute, why is that my fault? Because I was happy with our situation. And you're like, well, no, I wasn't. I really wasn't. And now it's your fault. And then now we got a problem.
Well, a lot of us, when we meet somebody, that we know, but we tend to put it aside that when we first meet each other, we're meeting each other's representative. Okay? Meaning, I'm going to show you what you want to see at first because I'm liking you. I like the way you look, the way you talk, the way you act. Now, as we progress, we start to, learn more and more. Each person start to loosen up, letting, their little flaws or whatever come out. And then by us liking them so much, we tend to say, hey, okay, I'm not feeling that, but I like her or I like him, and I'm gonna be with that person, so I'm gonna let that slide. I'm gonna forget about that until, down the line you just get tired and you be like, why did I seen this happening? Why didn't I just address it then?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
A story of my life.
I mean, we grow with each relationship. We grow.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I have a question, guys. Which do you think is worse? And just want to say we're in our after show, guys. If you want to call in 657-383-1155. But which is worse, self-sabotaging behavior or defense mechanisms?
Self-sabotaging, I would say.
Definitely.
You can't control defense mechanisms because they're sort of kind of automatic. And sometimes it happens without you even knowing. Self-sabotaging, you know what the hell you're doing.
It's going through the motions. And
my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, I've been in relationships where I've literally self-sabotaged the relationship because I didn't want to be in it anymore. But I use my skill of avoidance, my defense mechanism of avoidance, to keep the person from being mad at me. Right? So I made it them to dump me. You know, so
did you
that
say your skills?
My skills. I embrace all my skills. But you know, I felt like my situation was that I didn't want to create an enemy, but I also didn't want to be in a relationship with the woman either. So it was like, you know what, I'm gonna do things that I know she's not gonna like. I'm gonna say things that I know she's not gonna tolerate, and let her, you know, do the job for me. You know, of breaking this off and making it. You said, oh right, yeah, basically. So
you cowered out there.
Or no, I didn't want no black guy, no slash tires, or my house burned down. That's kind of how I felt.
Why not? Did you ever just try and talk? I mean, say, this ain't working out. I think we should be friends.
Oh yeah, I tried that. Yeah, you could try that with people all you want. You could try that with people all you want.
They don't hear that. You're not listening.
You're not listening. They are not. You're not listening to you. You know. It's like this one relationship. It was this kind of relationship. This woman was. She was bad. Trophy status.
Trophy.
Yeah, she had a great personality. I learned a lot from this woman, tons of stuff. So there was a lot of attraction there, you know, from the physical to the mental, right, or to the psychological, right. But there were certain little things about her that just drove me, you know, batshit crazy. Where I was like, I could not be in a relationship with this woman, you know. So I felt like, you know, I would just go ahead and break it off. And so I did, right? One day I said, look, you know, this isn't working out for me, blah, blah, blah. And what's wrong? So anyway, so I was like, you know, this isn't working out for me. I'm going to move on. And like 2-3 weeks later, she's back, you know, she's in my text messages. She's calling me. She's like, hey, you know, we need to figure this out, blah, blah, blah. Like she just was like not taking no for an answer. And because of the type of person I am, I didn't have. I mean, this part I cowered out on. I didn't have the courage to say, you know what, I'm really just done with you. Leave me alone. I didn't have the courage to just totally push her off. But also, I think it was because of the fact I did have for her, but also the attraction too. You know, it was too. It was just too good. You know what I mean? It was like, you know what? I'd rather
now the truth is coming out.
Right. And so then when we tried again,
wait a minute. Let me rethink this.
Oh no, that was a good thing. I didn't get that far. That was the one good thing. I didn't get that far because that would have really resulted in some bad things. But no, we never had sex. The most we did was kiss. Once I got that first kiss. Got that first booty grab, it was over for me. But after that, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let it get to a point where we're having sex and we're doing other stuff. I didn't even let it get that far. But my thing was like I had to get out of that situation where I wouldn't have her continually coming after me. You know, where it would be a temptation. You know what I'm saying? Because of course, you know what she's going to use next is the body, is the sex, you know what I mean, or anything else, you know. So it was just like, what can I do to really just get out of this and not have to have her say, well, you know, we should try again. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to turn the tables on her, and I just used everything she told me she didn't like against her, and so I was
let her feel like she was dumping you.
She did. She literally within 12 hours. She dumped me. Within 12 hours.
I used to stay. That was my go-to. I used to stay making them feel like they got rid of me. Always. That was the best way to do it. Make them feel like they got rid of you, they was dumping you. No, man. I guess that made me feel better.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I was in a
situation
where when I broke up with this girl, her and my brother was cool. I come home from work one day. She's in the kitchen. He done let her in. She cooking. Mind you, I have a date with me. I'm going out. So me and my date, we both ate. She was pissed. You know, and I told her, you know, don't come over here without calling. Okay, then she started, you know, me and the young lady moved in together. Somehow she got my phone number. I'm living on the other side of town. It's calling my house. Then she starts following me. Now, how the hell you going to follow somebody with a yellow Cadillac?
Wow.
A yellow Cadillac. You know, and we friends to this day, because don't ask me how or why, but we are friends. You know, we talk about it, joke about it. She deny it. I'm like, yeah, okay. But I would look in my rearview mirror, be coming down West Chicago. Here come this big old yellow Cadillac. And I'd be like, what the hell? Okay, maybe it's a coincidence. I'll be on Grand River. Huh?
What the hell you do to her?
I don't know. She claimed we had a kid together, but the baby passed, and you know she kept I guess the baby wasn't even born yet. She got the ashes, and I'm like, this don't make sense. You know, I don't know what I did to her. I'll put it like that. But we are friends now. Now it ain't none of that stuff going on nowhere near. But I was in a situation like that, and it's crazy. It's actually scary. Knew my address, knew my new wife name, all of that stuff.
Wow.
It might have been the feather I used when I tickled. You know, just kidding.
I'm asking, what did you do there? You blew her ass or something?
Right.
Whoa, wait a minute. What's that? What?
That's our standard. Turn them out move. You blowing their ass. And
no.
How you turn them
I'm
out?
still old school on that one.
Yeah. That's all I was about to say. That's the only thing. You blow a sunny.
I don't mess with that Hershey Highway.
She gonna be hunting you down.
I had somebody that dedicated. I can call him, and he would come do that. And I did not follow him. He was crazy. I had to let him do it, and then like, all right, get out of my house. I had to kick him out because he was crazy.
Did you say you had a nigga come through and blowing your ass for real, like a bank?
It's like I'm dead serious. My friend Meg can attest to it. This nigga, I used to call this nigga like, yo, what you doing? Like, nothing. All right, you gonna come eat my ass? He's like, all right, I'm coming. And then I would kick him out. I'm like, all right, see you later. Get your stupid ass out of my house.
Oh, that's a hell of a feeling, though. I'll tell you that. That's a hell of a feeling. That could be another subject one day.
Oh, it's been one. We had one about it.
Man, so one time I used to call. I never knew the lady's name, but I used to call her the booty licker. And she didn't care where I was. I had my brother watching me one day. He's like, I don't believe you. I'm like, watch this. Hey, she did what she had. I don't give a damn shit. Huh?
Crazy.
You know me and my brother did, man. We did everything together.
But I would accept it.
Huh?
Like, thank you. Have a great day. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm weird. Don't judge me.
Makes you damn near jump across the bed. Whew. Wait a minute.
Well, while we're in the after show, and we're already talking about sex and everything, so one of my buddies, he sent me a question. So I wanted to ask everybody about this, and it was funny to me because at first I was like, yeah, it's you know, besides me, you know, y'all two are under 40, so y'all really don't know yet. But so his question to me was, why after 40 do we get why do we get more horny after 40? And you know, when he asked, you said what?
I said, don't men peak later than females, or is it women that peak later?
No, women peak later.
Yeah, but I think it's women that's supposed to peak later. Men supposed to peak early. But
women peak by 45 or 50. It's on there. and after that change of life, oh baby, it's on.
So
it's on.
So I guess that's the question of the night. So I mean, like you guys being under 40, can you imagine being more sexually active and sexually stimulated than what you already are? Do you feel like you're at peak and you're like, you know what, it's gonna be a wrap after this?
Nah, I hope and pray that I'm still at 40 acting like a guy. Listen. Hey, if I'm anything like I am now, oh no, I'm a force to be working with. I
think I peaked out at between 35 and 45. I mean, I could do it every day, couple of times a day, however different many women. I didn't care. I was a hoe.
He's a doctor training. Oh Lord.
I was, but women, after they hit 40, 45, or that change in life, you better strap up, brother. Put your reins on, because you're going for a ride.
Oh, man.
Ain't crazy. No satisfying nothing.
Wait a minute, what? I'm not ready.
Huh?
So it only gets crazier from here, Sonny.
Oh, baby. Oh, my God.
What about you, Clint? Where do you feel like you at right now, Clint? Or you expect to get better?
Hey, man, listen. They say like we was talking earlier. They say women. I want to see it, but I don't believe it. Like, I don't believe it. I feel like
don't believe what?
I feel like that men peak earlier than women, because I feel like I'm really just getting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting better. Like, I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? I do agree. I know that older women. I like older women. That's why you know what I mean. So I know older women, as they get, you feel me? Like, it's a whole nother level. It's a different type of ball game. But at the same time, I don't believe that man, we just fade out as we get older. I don't believe that.
No, I didn't say fade out now. I didn't say fade out.
We said
where you peak at. Where you peak at 35, 40 years old, I can knock a hole in a brick wall.
Oh, yeah, that's because we were just physically stronger.
All right,
Clint. That ain't what I'm talking about.
Exactly. That's what you talk about.
When you get in your 50s, you're not going to be sitting up there trying to go 3-4 hours at a time. You ain't going to do it. One in a million. This old man told me one time. He said he told this young girl, "You better take this fast 15 or this slow 20, and get the hell on."
You know what?
So I mean, for me, I kind of feel like Clint do, where I mean, especially because now I'm getting really close to 45, and I'll be 44 this year. But I still feel like I got it. You know, I'm also not in my best shape, but I still feel like I still put it down regardless. So I think you know, I'm like, do I still got 5, maybe 10 more years in me? I'm pretty sure I do. You know, past that, you know, we'll see what happens. But I just feel like my sex drive hasn't diminished any in like the last couple years, and it feels like it's just, you know, not that it's getting more, but like I feel like it's still if there's a peak, I feel like I'm still either at that peak or haven't even come close to going over yet. You know, like I still want it even just as much as I did in my 30s, probably more than when I did in my 20s. And it's so funny because I was telling my boy, I was like, I think as a 40-year-old man, I think I also appreciate passion and sex and the connections more. I feel like it's more I'm like more aware of it. You know what I mean? And I think
you gotta learn her body. You don't learn how to please the woman's body and her mind. You please her mind first.
Yeah.
Exactly. Definitely the mind. You got to. It takes a certain amount of wisdom to connect to a woman without even having to touch her. You know what I mean? Without even having to be there. I mean, it's nice to be there though. I prefer that, but but it's like,
so.
but it's like
I would be perfect.
Yeah, like you said, when you really know how to please another person, or even just knowing what you like and your pleasures. You know what I mean? There's some stuff I didn't realize I liked until I was in my 30s. You know what I mean? So my 20s, I always look back at those like, man, I was just humping and dumping. It wasn't nothing really going on.
Wait till you get to your 50s, then.
Yeah, shit wasn't even sweet until I was in my late 30s. So you know what I mean? So and
you know what? You're gonna as you get older, it's not about the amount of time you spend in it. It's about what you do with the time while you're in it. Because you can satisfy a woman if you're doing it right in her mind. Do it to her mind. She would rather have that 30 minutes of that mind fuck than that 2 hours of you jumping up and down on her ass. Because most of these women tell you ain't jumping up and down on me no goddamn 2 or 3 hours.
Right. That's true. Yeah, they ain't trying to hear that.
No, it's all about the foreplay, what you say, and once you get that set and you get in there, to them, they done already came. If you know what to say and know how to start off, man, wait till you get to your 50s, bro. I love it. Boy.
Now I'm excited.
Don't get excited on the phone now.
Right. I'm just looking forward to the future.
It's a beautiful thing, bro. I'm happy I'm still able to do what I do. A friend of mine told me her son has issues and he's only 38.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible.
He can't.
Hey, they got pills for it though. They got pills for that.
Cialis.
That's their problem.
Cialis, Viagra,
problem. That's a lot of these young boys be taking all these drugs and taking all these pills, and like I knew dudes that's my age that was taking pills when they was like 22, 23. I'm like, yo, bro, like why you don't need those pills? Like why are you taking those pills?
Maybe they did need them.
Now they gotta take them. You feel me?
Right.
You're right.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
true too.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's crazy. I was never into that. You know what I mean? Just take these random pills. Somebody gonna help you? Like, nah.
I think we lost Willie. I don't know. We got like 6 minutes left. I don't know. We lost Willie. He dropped the phone call. Hopefully, he called back in.
Okay. When y'all doing your next video thing, that was kind of fun. I enjoy y'all.
We're just talking about that too.
Might do it Thursday again.
I done read and got my liquor ready for y'all this time. I went and got my Crown Peach.
Oh, that's a bet. Yeah, might do it Thursday.
Yeah, we might have to sign back up for Thursday. It was fun. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Close it on out.
About to remind I don't know what's going on really, but we'll hit them back. But thank you, Dog, for joining us. We appreciate you. We appreciate you live as well last Thursday. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, you can catch us our blog on at gftradioshow.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at GFT_radio. Cop that merch. Go to teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. Catch the playback on SoundCloud, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, back here on Blog Talk Radio, and a bunch of other places. Just Google us to find out where we're at. Clint, you want to give your info?
Just hit me up on Twitter at eTrainGroovy and holler at me on my blog at kingstruth.com.
And, of course, you can reach me at IamSunny_D. I'm going to do y'all my TikTok. Follow my TikTok. I don't like y'all on Instagram. I get too many weird requests, but I'm on there too, same name. You can follow me on my blog, unreservedlyme.com. I've been posting a lot more since this Rona. I've been trying to drop some stuff on there, so y'all won't y'all have something to do besides listen to me bitch about my life. I don't know, but Willie, I guess is Willie.Styles on what's that? It's not Instagram because it's Willie Styles on Instagram. It's Willie.Styles on Twitter, probably, right? One of them.
Willie Styles with a Z. Just Google him. You'll find him everywhere. You know what I mean? Willie Styles Radio. And that's Styles with a Z.
Yes. Good night, guys.
7 days.
Bye.
See y'all later.